What's going on? Let me fix this chat real quick. What's up, Tracy? How you doing? Let me fix these chats. Stream on so many damn channels. What's going on, guys? Guys, it is Coffee and Crime. What's going on, Michael? What's going on, Scott? What's going on, Emily? What's going on, Tracy? What's going on, Beans? Guys, it is March 17th, 2025, 8:52 a.m. Guys, we're going to talk a little bit of Idaho 4 here today. Let me know if you guys can hear me, see me, all that good shit. Let me get the chat over here so I can watch you guys. Pay attention to you guys. Scott Cherry, what's going on? Lord Helmet, what's going on? Ginger and Hellcat, what's going on? The beautiful Just a Mom, good to see you. What's going on, Peaky? Peaky, what a fucking name. Hope you guys are all doing good. Hope you guys are all having a good morning. Guys, we're going to do two different segments here. We're going to talk about Steve Goncalves in the first, as he has spoken out. He was on News Nation. We're going to take a look at that. What's up, Carmichael? How you doing? Emily says, what do you think of the 911 call? Well, I spoke on it in several different videos recently, and I will just tell you this: as it sounds to me, I'm not one of these people that believe it's AI. I'm not one of these people that believe it's fake, and I'm not even one of these people that believe it's staged. I believe the AI call exonerates the roommates from having anything to do with it. I believe it was. I could see the emotion. I could hear the emotion. And I also believe if Hunter was the male voice, it sounds to me like Hunter was a man that tried to keep the girls from possibly seeing a slaughter. I mean, there's still a lot of questions, though. There's still a lot of questions. No doubt about it. What's up, Mad Season? I was about to hit it snooze, but saw your notification. That's what's up. I'm going to start trying to do Coffee and Crimes every morning now, if there's news. Some of it, sometimes it'll be Idaho 4, sometimes not. There's just not Idaho 4 news every day. They did sound scared, Emily, and that's the thing, and that's what I want to talk about in the second portion of the show is, all right, we can even kick it off right now. We'll wait, actually, we'll do it in the second portion. Look, man, I think that there's a lot of crazy people out here, and their made-up claims make us all look fucking stupid, right? I believe that you can be an innocent until proven guilty party, such as most of us over here, without being completely fucking retarded. And to be, if you want to know the truth. And I think that the minute you start claiming that the 911 call that has been released to the public, that literally every news agency in America is covering, that when you start saying it's an AI phone call, usually Emily says she feels Brian did it. I'll let you know where I stand on it. I do not believe, if I was on the jury, there's not enough evidence to convict Brian Kohlberger. There's no smoking gun. And I got a list here we can go over as we discuss it. To the people that believe he did do it, such as you, Emily, my question is, do you believe strong enough that there's strong enough evidence that you would send him to his death, a firing squad, or lethal injection? Are you that sure with the evidence? Because some of the things I'm going to talk about here, you may not feel, you said no. Okay, and that's at least you're being honest, and I like that. Because that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at a case where we're talking about sending a man to his death. Now, not at all. Exactly. The German from PA was framed, says Ginger. I don't know about framed. I believe in this case there was a lot of incompetence. I believe that's what we're seeing. And the one thing that most people that come with grand conspiracies do is they never allow for incompetence. There are real conspiracies like false flags and the Gulf of Tonkin incident and Operation Northwoods. There are real conspiracies that occur. My question is, is why would you believe that 4 kids in Idaho are, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, are significant enough for a major conspiracy? You know, because you got to realize that's what it would be. If the FBI is going to be involved, if the state police, if the local police, for all of these different groups to be involved, you're basically saying this is a grand conspiracy, the likes of the JFK shooting and shit like that. What makes these 4 kids or this incident so relevant, so significant, that all of these different organizations would work together to conspire to hide their real killer? Now, I understand why a local group would, like, let's say the sheriff's department, I understand why they would do it, especially with the college being pretty much all of that town's economy. But you got to realize you're looking at something bigger than this when you're including the FBI and all of that. What's up, 12 Gauge? What's up, Amber L? She says, agree, I do not believe that state has presented enough to sway me towards guilt. If a trial those things came out, then fine, but not as, yeah. And so, in fact, let's just start with this, okay? We'll get into Goncalves here in a minute. Let's look at the facts, or let's look at what we have here. Now, when you're looking at it, did Bryan Kohberger do this? Well, are we going to find him guilty? Let's look at facts or lack of facts that we know right now. Is it proven that Bryan Kohberger was in Moscow, Idaho, during the time of the killings? Is there any evidence at all? Is there any proof that Bryan Kohberger, he does give us different angles, absolutely. Is there any proof that Bryan Kohberger or his car was in Moscow, Idaho on the night of the killings? And not suggestions, not I think he might have been. Is there any proof linking Bryan Kohberger to the scene? That's step number 1. Now, some of you may say DNA, and we'll get into DNA, but you have to realize this is touch DNA. Touch DNA is not proof that you were located somewhere. Let's say I work with Emily. Emily has this cup in the office, the lunch office at work. And I was like, you got a cup I could use? So she lets me use this cup. My touch DNA is all over this cup. She takes this cup home with her, and then hell, maybe even in 2 weeks, she moves 600 miles away. My touch DNA would be in her home, somewhere I've never even been, up to 6 weeks after I touched it. So it does not definitively prove that someone was there. Touch DNA is not a reliable science. Because touch DNA, none that I'm aware of, yes. Touch DNA is something that does not definitively put you there. It does maybe mean that why wasn't BK's DNA found on the victims? It's a very good point. And that's something we are going to talk about. Why wasn't the victim's DNA found on any object belonging to Kohberger? We'll get to the DNA for sure. I think he will be found guilty by the jury. I 100% think he'll be found guilty. I said I wouldn't convict him. The media has painted him as the boogeyman. He's going to prison. Make no mistake about it. Bryan Kohberger, just like, once you're painted as the boogeyman, people get scared. People got kids. People, when they see Kohberger, people start seeing things that they think about it. After his arrest, how many people said he looks like an incel? He looks like a psychopath. People begin to see what they want. I see a college nerd. And the defense team needs to do a good job of making it clear of what touch DNA is to the jury. Absolutely. Absolutely. Trial by media. Absolutely. So there's no absolute 100% proof that Kohberger was in Moscow on the night of the murders. There is absolutely no 100% proof that Kohberger's car was there. And we could touch on the car for just a second. Yeah, exactly. Tracy said he doesn't look like that to me at all. Exactly. Lucas Anderson, that case, his DNA was in the victim's fingernail scrapings. The EMT transferred it. Yes. He looks normal. He looks like a college nerd, man. He looks like somebody going for his PhD. I think he would be found innocent if the jury listens and understands the concept of reasonable doubt. JK, are you an American? You do understand there's a lot of stupid motherfuckers walking around here, right? There's a lot of people that play off emotion. And I'm going to be perfectly honest. People with daughters and women themselves, I don't think he was an incel either. I don't think he was an incel anyway, but you're right, it doesn't mean he was a murderer. Thank you, Emily. Here's reality. The more women that's on the more women that's on that jury, the more likely he is to get found guilty. And the reason I say that, or the more men with daughters, because it's the ultimate boogeyman. You send your kid off to college and she gets slaughtered at college. Like for men, they're worried about the daughters. For women, they're worried about themselves and, of course, their daughters. Like it's the ultimate boogeyman. And once you paint him as that boogeyman, I think the jury could make their decision based on emotion rather than the facts. And I think it's human nature to do that shit, right? The jury will see crime scene photos of BK is the only one with any sort of DNA there. Well, the thing about it is he's not the only one with the only DNA there. I wonder if BK will actually take the stand. No, they're not in a chance. Listen, let's go ahead and get that out. There is not a 1% chance that Brian Kohlberger takes the stand. You have to be an idiot as a defendant to take the stand at any point in time. Because let me tell you something, they can catch you up on some shit that you just simply don't remember and make you look like a liar, thus make you look guilty. You understand what I'm saying? It could be the simplest shit. Once you get up there and the prosecution is going at you and you're being accused, and I've testified on my own before, and trust me, it's not a pretty sight. It's not a pretty sight. The prosecution will throw things at you to get you off your fucking game, to frustrate you, to make you mad, to piss you off. Like it's not to make you stumble in your words so it looks like you're lying. It is never a good idea for a defendant to ever take the stand, especially with his autism or whatever they say he has. Yeah. So back to the facts, or what lack of facts. Kohlberger's car, there's no guarantee it was there. There's no clear shot of a white Elantra. Let's just call it what it is. And there's definitely, remember when they first came out, they said 2011. Now, granted, I'm being petty. But if you're talking about a man's life, you better be damn sure if you're an expert, right? There's no guarantee, even if it was a white Elantra, that it's Brian Kohlberger's white Elantra from another state in this location. There's no guarantee that this car was Brian Kohlberger's unless there's film that we have not seen that shows license plates or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Amber says he will not be on the stand. That's why they're using autism as part of the case, not to get him off, but get his mannerisms excused, so to speak. Yeah, I'm not even sure he has abnormal mannerisms. There may be a white car in the area that looked like BK's car, and the patrol vehicles drove white sedans also. Yes, and the reason I'm mentioning all this, because you also got to realize the jury, all it takes is one jury member like myself to that reasonable doubt is presented to. So there is nothing that puts Kohlberger in Moscow that night. There is nothing that puts Kohlberger's car there that night. FBI intel stated he prefers 2011 to 2013, and it was at Ridge Road, not King. Exactly. All right, so both the prosecution and the defense has said there's absolutely no connection. This is in court documents. There is no connection between between Kohlberger and the victims. That means all the people that's been saying, well, he followed the girls on Instagram, he did this and that, that's not true. Court documents under the penalty of perjury state that there is no prior connection between Brian Koberger and the victims. This is a fact in the case. It's in court documents. So, no proof of him being in Moscow, no proof of the car being in Moscow, no connection to the victims. Now, in any other murder case, we talk about murder weapons, right? We have no murder weapon that we know of. There has been no documentation stating that the murder weapon has been found. So currently, we have no connection, no murder weapon, no Koberger in Moscow, no Koberger car in Moscow, or no definitive proof. Okay? If he does get to finish his degree in prison for free, that's why he's in no hurry to get out. That's funny. Then has a motive been presented? So right now, there's no murder weapon. There's no motive either. There has not been a motive presented by the prosecution or even a theory of a motive yet. Now, I'm sure in their opening statement, they will come out with something. But right now, we have no murder. We have no motive. We have no proof Koberger was even there. Prosecution is basing all this on circumstantial evidence. No, I literally have it written here. Entire case is touch DNA on the sheath unknown. Now, let me explain this to you. There's not even proof that a K-bar knife is the one that killed the people. Is there? And so I guess I'd like to meet someone who got their PhD in jail. Me too. The point that I'm making now, it is circumstantial. Since there's no murder weapon, we don't know that these people got killed with a K-bar knife. We're assuming it's a K-bar knife because there was a K-bar knife sheath at the crime, which, by the way, that's a good assumption. I believe they were probably killed with a K-bar knife, obviously. Logic, Occam's razor said if there's a fucking K-bar knife sheath there, that's probably exactly how. So if Maddie was the only victim with DNA under her nails, does that mean she is the only victim that didn't shower before bed? Strange. Maybe. I don't think that's necessarily strange. I shower in the morning. I love your commentary. Not scared to pull up the bullshit. Can tell you've had previous with police like me. We know that they're not all honest. Of course. What's up, Strange? Motive is going to be hard for me to try and understand since Bill Thompson came out and said stalking was false. That's another. Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing. The prosecutor said stalking was false. But I will say this. Yeah. A lot of people pick things like that and call it weird. I know plenty of people that don't shower before bed. I'm a morning shower person, personally. I mean, I would shower before bed if I went out and did labor or a job somewhere else. But yeah, no. The only time I shower at night is if I'm gonna get some new pussy. To be honest, if I know some new chick is gonna have her mouth down there, then I'll shower at night before I go. You know what I mean? But in reality, no, I'm a morning shower. So it could have been possible Maddie is a morning shower. You know what I mean? If you were out till 2 a.m., she ain't showering before bed, she was drunk. That's exactly. You're gonna get home. You remember they were at the grub truck getting their fucking macaroni on before they went home and just passed out drunk. You know what I mean? Which makes sense. And then when they got home, what's her name? Kaylee was obviously doing that late night creep shit. Dick dialing. Let's be honest here. You got these two girls drunk, they went out, had fun, and then Kaylee called Jack like fucking 12 times. In my opinion, that's a 2 a.m., that's a booty call. If you call my phone a bunch of times at 2 a.m., I know what you want. To me, just Occam's razor, regular logic, who's had chicks blow up my phone at 2 in the morning before. There's only one thing that's ever for. It's either drugs or dick. But I ain't sold drugs in 25 years, so you get my point. Let's see. So no murder weapon, no motives. That's true. Exact booty call for sure, yeah. See, people automatically assume that Kaylee must have been freaking out at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's when she was calling. Nah, man. Oh, she was freaking out all right. She was drunk and wanted that shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's common sense. If she's calling her boyfriend at that time, you know, just common sense. Now for like the type of people that don't do 2 a.m. booty calls, it may sound weird to them. Why would someone call somebody at the ungodly hour at 2 o'clock? No, that's called dick hour. You know what I'm saying? That's what that's called. That's not an ungodly. Well, it is an ungodly hour, but it's ungodly for the right reasons. So we have absolutely no proof that Bryan Kohberger was in that location. We have absolutely no motive, no murder weapon, no connection to the victims. There's no secure evidence that Kohberger's car was there. Let's move on to the next thing. Let's move on. And if Kaylee left any voicemails to Jack, the state has them, and it could be played at trial. Nothing more than a drunk girl calling an ex. Yeah, it could be her pissed. Where the fuck are you at? Are you out with some bitch? You out with some bitch, aren't you? That kind of thing. Now that could be. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue. Phone pings. Let's talk about that, because a lot of people bring them up. In fact, the prosecution does. Does the phone pings prove that Bryan Kohberger was in Moscow, Idaho? The answer is no. The radius of that phone ping of that phone tower is a 27 square mile radius. Bryan Kohberger lived about 8 to 10 miles away from the site. I think he's the fall guy, and most people have their mind made up that he did this no matter what evidence is presented. Well, yeah, and that's unfortunate. The phone pings basically give you a general area. You know, I'm with you, Demon Dog. I don't do it. Yeah, 2 a.m. Yeah, I agree. But that's at our age. They are 20 years old. But so phone pings. Phone pings don't put him in the area. Phone pings do put him in the area, but he lives in the area. When you're looking at the phone tower and a 27 square mile radius, and he lives fucking 10 miles away, it's not that hard to figure out. You know, you understand like how many phone towers you think are there. These are small towns. These are small towns, Idaho and small town Washington. These ain't big cities. His phone could have pinged on the towers exactly. And once again, what's up, Mir? Once again, it does not pinpoint you to an exact location. So that's not definitive proof either. Now, if you get me the exact location, if they have some sort of science that can say he was exactly at 1122 King Road, then in my opinion, if you get something like that, then it's proof. Now, another thing is, does his phone being off prove anything? No. And I can tell you how. Let me give a shout out to the beautiful Kathy. And let me give a shout out to Scott, too. Scott sent $2. Kathy sent $1.69 from Hitler and I. Happy St. Patrick's Day. We need a 69 in the chat. Absolutely. Thank you to Scott. And thank you to Kathy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So anyway, let's get back to this. Appreciate you. Very much so. It said, let's be real. One of the times the law enforcement said his phone used a tower that also provides service to 112 King Road, they themselves believe it was in his... No, 100%. There was one time he pinged off that tower that they said they knew he wasn't in the area. That means a lot. If you're telling me... I want you to understand. If law enforcement is saying... there's times that his phone pinged there that we know he wasn't there. What's up, Meg? How you doing, beautiful? Then that should eliminate the whole rest of the phone bullshit. Now, let me also say this about the phone. He said everything presented to the defense prosecution is exculpatory. Yeah, I can't wait to see what he's got. Let me also say this. Guys, serious question. Do you guys ever fall asleep watching your phone? Like, do you ever like I want you to see, I got something like this, right? A lot of times I set my phone just like this, right next on my headstand, right there on my nightstand, and I'm looking over at it, and sometimes I forget to plug it in, and I wake up, not to my alarm in the morning, I wake up to my phone completely dead. Is there anybody else here that's ever happened to? It happens to me no less than 4 times a week. Fall asleep scrolling, have it plugged in though? Yes. Sometimes I get drunk. I don't remember to plug it in, whatever the case may be. Good morning. What's up, Swanton? We'll talk about Steve here in just a second for sure. So the phone being in airplane mode or not pinging doesn't really mean anything. Because let me explain to you what happens when a phone pings. A phone pings when there's activity on it. An app, a notification. What happens? What happens if I fall asleep with the TV or on YouTube or Twitch every night? Yeah. So yeah. Let me ask you a serious question. Hey, let me give a shout out to Meg who sent 10. Thank you so much, Meg. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Oh, shit. God damn it. Don't fuck with me here. All right. There we go. I think I was right. Oh, no. I got that off a little bit. I'm all fucked up. There we go. I dropped my phone on my face, falling asleep once. Yeah, it's happened to me. What's up, Shannon? So, was it the beautiful Mandy's joining us? So, I want you guys to understand, this whole phone cutoff thing is not that big of a deal. Now, where that does get a little twisted is if it's true that his phone showed him traveling. Now, that could be rough, but even that still doesn't put him there. Amanda says, and to follow up to on Heather comment, so if one of those 12 trips, they say he was making trips to 1122, they admitted he was not there. Exactly. When did they know of BK? That's a great point. There you go, legendary CEO. That's a great point. By the way, if one ping off of there shows he wasn't there, and you know he wasn't there, then that should have thrown out the whole rest of the evidence. Because that means that the pings does not put him there. Does not put him there. Necessarily. You got to go off, does it? Evidence has to, anything that's not smoking gun type evidence or just straightforward evidence, it's circumstantial. It's all guessing. So the phone pings to me is a complete guess. Now, we've talked about no murder weapon, no motive, no connection to the victims. Phone pings could have been anywhere. Was there an eyewitness? Exactly, Mir. Question is, was there an eyewitness? The answer is no. How do we know this? Because thank you, Meg, appreciate you, beautiful. The one eyewitness that existed, she failed to point him out in the lineup. All she had was the bushy eyebrows, which most men have thicker eyebrows. Especially if you are, listen, most men that have dark hair, black hair, dark brown hair, a lot of men have bushy eyebrows. It's just reality. We don't trim our eyebrows. We don't do all that gay shit. Most of us. She also said it didn't feel real. Like she didn't know if what was going on was real. Very true. Bushy eyebrows that she likes to draw? Good point. And from what Dylan said, that is a freaking mess. She is not reliable. Of course she's not. So, but when they sat her down, JB trying to send you a Venmo, but it keeps telling me the page doesn't exist. Let's see here. Let me see. Is it true she had eyebrows and eyes? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm still here. Let's see here. Let me see here. Yeah, because Scott used it earlier. Let's see here. Let's see here. I'll get it to you. Are you trying to do it from the comment section, from the pinned chat? Are you trying to do it from the pinned chat? The pinned chat? Maybe I pinned it wrong. But anyways, I've seen some women around. Yeah, I've seen some women around. But especially, what's her name? That one chick that was with the Tyrone dude. 100%. Now, so the question is was there an eyewitness? When she was sat down with a lineup, she couldn't point out Brian Kohlberger. Now, granted, it was dark. I don't blame her for not being able to point out the guy. But we're looking at a court case. In court, she has drawings of eyes and brows on court. Boy, that's crazy shit. Yeah, she must have an eyebrow thing. She must have an eye fetish. That's some weird shit. I believe that T. Farley, the lookout, was the unreliable who pointed the finger at Brian. Maybe. Most bushy brow, yeah, that is a fact. So, the thing about Emma Bailey has some fucking brows. One of the frat boys they stopped on the field had bushy eyebrows. I think most guys do, honestly. I think saying somebody has a bushy eyebrows, it just if someone's wearing a mask and all you can see is their eyes and shit, it's going to look bushier probably than it normally is. It's going to stand out to you. But my point behind this is when she was unable. So once again, in a case like this, the evidence needs to be legit. The evidence needs to be legit. And her not being able to point him out, that means there's no eyewitness Brian Kohlberger did. Period. No murder weapon, no connection to victims, no motive, no proof he was even there. Phone pings doesn't prove he was there. No eyewitness. Now, was there DNA connecting him to the crime? We talked about the DNA earlier. There was transfer DNA, touch DNA. We've discussed how that could be there. The DNA is circumstantial evidence. It's reason to side-eye that motherfucker. But does it prove that Brian Kohlberger was there at the scene? I don't believe it does. Circumstantially, one can assume or guess that he was there. Someone should ask her to sketch up what she saw. They probably have. T. Farley was seen hiding in the yard that night, and a female voice was picked up on the video. I don't watch YouTubers or read Reddit. But if she is the main witness, she needs to be more credible to the jury. Exactly. No, Ann Taylor's going to annihilate Dylan Mortensen. You see what I'm saying? Annihilate her. Because number one, this question must be asked. If you was so nervous that you wanted to run down to the first floor to Bethany's room, like if you guys are texting and you weren't in frozen shock phase if you motherfuckers were texting. If this was such an incident to you that you said, shit, I'm scared. You legitimately on a text message said, I'm scared. And Bethany was like, hurry up, girl, run. In what world does that occur in real life and motherfuckers don't say, shit, I should call the police? In what world does that exist? Now, I want to talk about I don't like attacking Bethany and Dylan. Because imagine surviving or being through this situation, and then you got the internet full of strangers fucking attacking you. I know it's why I also don't attack Steve Goncalves too much. Imagine being through this situation and having a bunch of fucking fat people on the internet making up stories or accusing you of shit. Like, that would bother me. Like, I'd start looking up the addresses to some of these internet motherfuckers. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that would bother me. And I also think that crazy claims in the community make us look fucking stupid. And we need to try to not look stupid, us people that logically break this shit down. Fruit of the poisonous tree is a thing of the past, I guess? Yeah, that's a good point. Well, so once again, getting back, there's no DNA that puts it, man. Do you have a link to the video where the mayor said the police cars were racing with lights and sirens blaring away because there's no sound of them arriving during the 911? We'll talk about that because you're right. You are right. And I've heard, I think them waiting 8 hours to call 911 opened the attack door. But once again, I think that a lot of people are underestimating incompetence. Does that make sense? Like, once again, conspiracies are formed. People start talking about conspiracies. What's up, Pam? Because of when clear incompetence exists. For instance, we have these drunk girls who had all this going on, and whether they made the decision to not call that night, they've passed out. A lot of incompetence, a lot of irresponsibility. Then with the police and the investigation, a lot of incompetence, a lot of incompetence. Now, there's a lot of people that say they don't believe in coincidences, they don't believe in incompetence, they believe that everything is for a reason and therefore it must be some sort of cover-up. I do believe the cover-up is they rushed to find a killer. I believe Brian Kohlberger is arrested because they rushed to find a killer. And so they reverse engineered some shit. What's up, Kindness Cake? How you doing? They reverse engineered some shit to point the finger at Kohlberger. There was a lot. So if there's any conspiracy, that's what exists, in my opinion. But I also think that when you start throwing in the FBI, the state police, and all this, you're making the conspiracy too big. I believe they wanted to rush to find a guy to call in the community because they had a school semester starting in January. And I think that's the true conspiracy. As December got here and they're like, hey, we need to fix this shit so people come to the school, which is 50% of the economy in Moscow, Idaho, for January semester. I do think that's the conspiracy. We'll get into that 911. Yeah, the whole call thing is crazy. To the people that say the call is AI is insane. Once again, crazy claims make the whole community look fucking stupid. It's just the truth. If they can reverse engineer for BK, they can do it for all those other unknown DNA. I agree. Which leads me to the other part. Whose other blood or DNA was it? You're telling me you can find touch minuscule DNA on a knife sheath and you can test that, run it through IgG. But you got actual blood in gloves. You have blood on the the stairs. You have blood, and then you have DNA under the fingernails. If you run it through the generator, man, look, bro. Listen, if you run it through the generator, what generator? What generator? You say, I disagree that crazy claims make the community look stupid? Oh, of course it was. Of course it does. FSU firing letter is false. This is something mentioned. Let me explain this to you. Do you know why? By the way, I'm an info warrior. I watch Alex Jones. I am. Do you know why Alex Jones looks so crazy? Because over the years, there have been some claims that, were crazy. And in the conspiracy world in general, people that are, or let me say this, in the skeptic world, when you start telling me that pro wrestlers named Batista and other white supremacists were going under the tunnels to come up later on, Ben Rooster, to come up beneath the Idaho 4 house to kill the girls. You're making us look stupid. What happens is it's called poisoning the well. You're poisoning the well. Let me give a shout out to Meg again, who sent 5. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Meg. It was released from Whitcomb. Yes. Yes. Every mainstream media, every media source in America is reporting it as real. Steve Goncalves is reporting it as real, and he's involved in the shit. But he's is Filipino, not white. I know. My point, frogs were turned gay, though. That is true. That actually is true, Amanda. But when we're talking about shit like, well, it's kind of true, but you're right. Thank you, Meg. When you're talking about these people and you're talking about crazy conspiracies without really any evidence, yeah, Alex Jones is losing some weight. I don't think this audio is fake, but I do think that people have faked things in the case in the past. Well, of course, people have, but also the old adage, believe nothing. Yeah. So what do you think has been faked? Oh, Alex Jones was right about a lot, 95%. But what I'm saying is when you're talking about being a skeptic, that 5% of loonies can make the whole shit look wild, right? Look, man, you got to understand some of these claims. Like if anybody has heard WSU Kim or whatever her name was, remember the dude that said, you got to understand, I've been in with this case since the beginning. There are people in the beginning that went on and on about how Dylan is trans and she's lashed out and killed because because of LGBTQ hate. You understand that we went through a whole year with this case, with people debating whether Dylan Mortensen was a trans or not. Justin. Do you so when we're talking about nut jobs, ruining it and making everybody else look fucking stupid, because when people see someone like this or that, they automatically go towards the bootlickers like Gray Hughes and shit, because they just follow what the police say. They look like the sane ones. Everybody takes us that believe in innocence until proven guilty. Everyone takes us that believe in innocence until proven guilty and lumps us in with the Dylan Mortensen as trans people. The misinformation was rampant and still is. Absolutely. Absolutely. When people start breaking down everything, how many people do you know that said Steve Goncalves killed him? How many people do you know blame the dad? Well, he owes a drug debt. He killed him, JB. Or he got him killed, JB. How many times have we seen it? How many times have we seen people say, it's the cartels, JB, it's the cartels, with no evidence? How many times have you heard them say? That's why transparency is very important. How many times have you heard them say? It's the Aryan Brotherhood, JB, just like in Delphi. The same people killed the people in Idaho 4 that killed the people in Delphi. How many times have you heard them say it? I've heard it a lot. I got the comments. I read them every day. I don't know if anyone was in. Well, there was no tunnels underneath the house. There was no tunnels underneath the house. There are tunnels underneath Moscow, Idaho. But there was no tunnels directly under 1122 King Road. I showed the entire blueprint and landscape, and people still believe the shit. Personally, I'm going through the court documents. Take me, and so far, I'm not on the guilty side. The state, they haven't shown it, which is what I was touching on here. Now, the one thing I think looks bad is that his alibi does. The alibi is not good. And we don't even know what the alibi is. I want you to remember, Doc was filed in the past few days where Brian is requesting a hearing once it opens to the public. I think that would be fantastic. I think that would be fantastic. And I think that would be the best bet for Brian Kohlberger. Get everything transparent, open to the public. But I want to say this. I think the alibi was horrible. And what's crazy, I don't remember. I read in an article once, James, what the tunnels were for. Steam pipes, yeah, that's what they are, steam pipes. But anyways, he didn't even present an alibi, actually, other than he was out driving. And he says sometimes he likes to go out and stargaze. Ah, man. Oh, man. The alibi looks like complete shit. Can we agree? Can we agree that the alibi looks like complete shit? I would have rather said, I ain't got an alibi, bro. He would have been better off than being like, shit, oh, man, yeah. It doesn't mean anything. What's up, Gina? Because as I said with the whole list we just went over, look, man, the reason I went over this whole list, that's why it's probably believable in my opinion, yeah. Unless Cy Ray really can show up, man, I'm really counting on Cy Ray, Amber. I am. So the reason I listed all this shit is touching back to where we started. When we get to hearing people talk about the 911 call, a lot of people on our side begin to attack the roommate, say it's proof that it's not proof of anything. A lot of people believe the 911 call, what's up, Katrina? Thank you, beautiful. Is some sort of fucking AI or staged. Look, man, I just gave you a whole list of reasons Brian Kohlberger is probably innocent. We don't have to make shit up. We don't have to make shit up like the phone call stage and it's all, and Dylan Mortensen is a trans and she murdered everyone. We don't have to make shit up. You don't have, clearly the call was the 911 call. Why didn't the girls do this? Why didn't the girls do that? Probably incompetence and fear. I think whenever we start, there you go, Glory. Whenever we start pointing at the girls, the survivors, and say, they did it, or Steve Goncalves, he did it, I think we're leaving out, whenever we start doing this, still want to get married? Oh, I ain't marrying shit. Oh, to you? Let me look at your picture. I mean, if that's what it takes to get if I got to say that in order to get the cake. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, JB, you're saying when people start breaking down everything, that link I posted above, hold on, you got a rainbow in your fucking profile. Oh, no, probably not. JB, you're saying when people start breaking down everything, that link I posted above was a 50-page document attached. Someone looked into everything. I don't know who wrote it, just stumbled upon it. Oh, okay. I'll check it out. Brian wouldn't bring his phone or car to and that's another thing. I think that's why it's a wild thing. I don't know what Brian was doing that night, but I think that the evidence shows that, what's up, Upgrade? I think that the evidence shows that or should I say the lack of evidence, shows that if we are in a fair society, you cannot find this man guilty. This is why I say, please stop making up shit. Stop pointing at dumb shit. Just stop the bullshit. The 911 call is real. Says, hi, JB, I see you're a glutton for punishment. Bless you for tolerating some of the low-hanging fruit. I'll be on the political channel at 11. I told her I'm going to start doing coffee and crime every morning. I like some of these people, man. There's some hotties in here, and there's some intelligent ones in here. I mean, there's still the snack cakers. You know, apparently somebody with a rainbow in their shit asking a dude in a Confederate flag hoodie if he wants to get married. Could you imagine that shit? A dude in the South with a Confederate flag hoodie? With a chick with a rainbow on her profile? Nah. I can't do the MAGA shit while you're off doing the Kamala Harris shit. That ain't gonna work. But anyway, so I think that we should focus on what we see and what we don't see. But don't forget the thumbs up. Thank you so much. Want to get married, Jay? Yes, Mandy. You're close. We're on the same page. Absolutely, Mandy. But anyways, ultimately with this, I think there's enough things we could focus on for the good of Koberger and the truth here. Because that's really what we care about, right? The truth. Could have swore you was a white dude for Harris. Shit. No chance in hell. No chance in hell. I thought that Brian went the opposite way towards. That's a good point, Ray. And maybe Cy Ray, those are fighting words. Maybe Cy Ray can prove that. You know what I mean? Maybe Cy Ray can prove that. All I'm saying is, I think from our end, we need to start looking at the incompetency that exists and less of the conspiratorial, everything is fake, everything is staged, this is some big conspiracy. Because at the end of the day, these 4 kids, bless their souls, are insignificant to the level where the feds and everybody else is going to be on we got to cover this up. All the way at the top of the Department of Justice and FBI, like, we got to cover this up. You know. We live in scary times when someone can be held in jail with so little evidence. Yeah. So, I challenge anyone that believes he's guilty to tell me the evidence. Because in this segment, I've said, no proof of his car there, no proof of Koberger there, no connection to the victims, no murder weapon, no motive. The phone pings could have been, Ray don't like snack cakes. The phone pings is a 27 square mile radius. No eyewitness picked out Brian Koberger. This touch DNA, which is unreliable, which means it could have got there anyway. That could have been touched anywhere at any time. No blood or DNA on any of Brian Koberger's stuff, his car or his apartment or his home or his mom's home. Who was the other 3 DNAs belonging to? And the phone being off don't mean shit because my phone falls asleep every day. What's up, Dixie in the mountains? How you doing, beautiful? So, with that being the case, that is my case to why we don't need to make up shit. We don't need to look at the dumb conspiracies. If we just look at the facts or lack of facts in the case, you cannot convict Brian Koberger. You just can't. There's no evidence. And tomorrow, I'm going to talk a little bit about, I'm going to eat some crow because I'm going to talk about Delphi tomorrow a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. Despite the confession, I might have saw something last night that makes me change my perspective on it. I'll bring it tomorrow, though, because it has a lot to do with the new video that we went over. A little bit more analyzation. I gotta admit, even though the confession makes me believe that Richard Allen is guilty. So trying to send my first ever Venmo, maybe it's well, you probably got to confirm it in your email, Tracy. That's probably what it is. Were you the one that said the Venmo earlier? Yeah, my Venmo, I believe, is working. Megan sent another 631. Thank you, Meg. Oh, man, thank you. She got it. All right, thank you so much. Appreciate you. So, let me get this shit taken care of. All right, so we're going to move. Thank you, Meg. Appreciate you. All right. Let that boy out of jail. Yeah, I think so. We'll talk about a couple different things. I do believe they should give Richard Allen a second trial. We'll talk about that more tomorrow. Now we're going to move on to the Goncalves, man. And I think we'll talk about the 911 call here as well a little bit. Thank you, Meg. Appreciate you, beautiful. Let me go ahead and put this over here. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at some things, and we're going to take a look at some video here. Thank you to everybody that's here. We should be here probably another 20 minutes, 25, 30 minutes. I'll try to do these coffee and crimes every day for about an hour and a half. No longer than an hour and a half, because I got to do all my other streams too. I got the politics world waiting on me at 11, so try to get this done within the next 20 minutes or so. But anyways, appreciate you guys for joining us. Let's go ahead and move on. Family of Idaho 4 murders. Victims speak out after 911 call release. We're going to take a listen to it here as well. But there's some things I noticed because Steve Goncalves came out. There was some things that I was looking. Hold on. He said that he spoke with Johnson and thinks he stumbled upon the bodies of the group. So he spoke with Hunter Johnson, and is that his name? And said he thinks he stumbled upon the bodies in the group. Now, this stuck out to me, right? This stuck out to me because if wasn't Hunter the person that we believe was on the phone call? That was like, get out, get out, get out. Like, if he had spoke to Goncalves, wouldn't he have verified that being the case? Let me give a shout out to Kathy, who sent $1.69. She said we need a 69 in the chat. That's right. Nothing wrong with that. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you so much. This is interesting to me. Like, because if Hunter was the guy on the call, and I was looking at this, and when Dylan told the investigators that she heard a voice say, "There's someone here," and then heard whimpering coming from Canoto's room, and a man's voice saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Now we all know this to be the case. He said, "We don't need him on the political channel. Y'all don't ruin his." We said, "We need him on the political channel. Y'all don't ruin his day here, please." Oh, I'll be over there regardless. When I'm looking at this and I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about why would... All right, so he hears someone. She hears someone say there's someone here. My question is, if this being the... Remember when she was upstairs, when whoever killed him was upstairs and was killing Maddie and Kaylee. Remember how the other day we were talking about the dog? Why wouldn't the dog barking his head off? Why wasn't that occurring? And at this point, is this voice saying there's someone here? Is this Xana? And if it's Xana, is she talking to Ethan? Ethan, someone's here. That makes sense to me, right? So my question is, if they're hearing the killing take place upstairs, like, where the fuck was Ethan at this point in time? Like, if my girl was shaking me and waking me up, I looked you up your Venmo. Is it just your name and your picture? Yeah, hold on. Yeah. It says John Collins, JB. It's at JB Gunner. It'll look like this. Oh, let me look. Hold on. My Venmo will look like this. All right. Wouldn't you start from downstairs? Well, it depends. If Maddie was the target, maybe you go upstairs. So I'm sitting there thinking about this. I wonder I'm wondering if Xana heard the murders happening, heard it happening. She's waking up Ethan to say there's someone here. She was already up looking at TikTok. And then so he comes down the stairs and he's like, we're here to help you. Tracy hit she did it. Tracy found it. Thank you, Tracy. Tracy hit the tip jar with 10. Thank you so much, Tracy. Thank you, beautiful. Thank you so much. Very much so appreciate you. You did it. Look at you. Thank you, Tracy. All I need to know is that it took 8 hours, 8 long hours. If you still don't think that says everything. Well, here's the thing about the 8 hours. I believe there is some. We'll talk. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Here's the thing about the 8 hours. These are young kids that were. 8 hours is a long time. But 8 hours was also not a long time if you fell asleep. So, just hear me out for a second. So Dylan's in the room. She's hearing this, and she hears dogs and all kinds of shit. She gets out, she yells. Thank you so much, Tracy. She yells, does all that yelling and shit, and then goes back in and hears what she hears there. She looks out and opens the door for the last time. She's fucked up. She's drunk. Xana got DoorDash, of course. Which also could have been there's someone here. That's another thing. Xana got DoorDash, so that there's someone here could have also been the DoorDash. So you look out after you hear the whimper. And you see the dude in the mask and all that. He doesn't see you. He just walks by you and then walks out the side door. Now you're texting with Bethany. I'm scared. Girl, what am I going to do? I'm scared. Grants, how do you know that? How do you know that, bro? How do you know she knows exactly who was in the house before and after 4 a.m.? How do you know? So, I feel like no one is talking about the DoorDash. Oh, I've always suspected a DoorDash. They were texting, not sleeping. Exactly. Which brings reasons to question. So they start texting. She's like, I'm scared. And remember, Bethany's like, hurry up, run down here, run. Okay. Did she end up running down there? Number one. When she ran down there, Enan Hart, Grants, don't make me kick you out of here. Enan Harsh was in the house. I'm going to hear you out for just a second. Why would you just make that up? Why would you just make that up? Because you did. You just made it up out of nowhere. There's never been any evidence of that. No one's ever even claimed it. You literally just made it up on the spot. Tell us why. Tell the audience why you just made that up. Because you did. Tell us why. Tell us why you just made it up. Before I move on to the videos, I'm willing to listen. Because that's what you did. Make note, what's up, Jody? And this is what I have, this is the problem I have with the community, is when people just make something up like that. There is absolutely, let me give a shout out to Mad Season, who sent 20. Thank you, Mad Season. Heard the video and I heard a young woman say, we see you, Farley. What video was that? What video did you hear that? What video was that? Thank you so much, Mad Season. So love hearing the facts. Thank you so much. I'll put that on here. Anyway, let's go ahead and we'll get to the videos here in just a second. We're going to get to the little bit here. But anyway, so I guess the Enan Harsh guy ain't gonna come back in here. Anyways. Yeah, that's that. Remember how earlier I said when people just make shit up and create shit and it makes us look bad? It does. Because these are people that just sit there, like, literally just making. There is absolutely no evidence, no nothing to say Enan Harsh was ever in that house for any reason ever. Ever. That's just people on the internet making shit up. He's not in any documentation. There's nothing anywhere. It's literally just made up by the internet because they didn't like Eden or they thought he was weird or they didn't like, you know what I mean. Grandparents, please use in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, that's really what it is. It's just, no, that's really what it is. Because when you make a definitive statement like that, every single time I ask people to back that up and tell me why, they never can tell me why. Never, ever. So, anyway, let's go ahead and move on from that. Guys, we're going to look at Bumfield for a second. Bumfield got to talking about the 911 call, preamble to a horrible discovery. We're going to take a look at that. And then when we get done, we're going to take a look at Steve Goncalves, hear what he had to say, and see what we got in general here. See what they're talking about. Let's go.
Joining me right now is News Nation's senior national correspondent, Brian Enton. He's been following this case since the beginning. Let's start at the very beginning. Your impression overall of the call, Brian.
Yeah, heartbreaking, just the panic in their voices, the way it sort of evolves throughout the call from what you can feel they're thinking in the beginning versus it almost feels like there's this moment where they discover that something really, really bad has happened midway through the call.
I think that's true, too. And that's the thing, is midway through the call, when you hear, and I believe if that was Hunter that said, get out, get out, get out, I believe at that point he had saw the blood or saw throat cut or something of that nature. Would you guys agree? The suspect's vehicle was a 2015 Kia Forte. This guy just came in here and made up more shit. Demon Dog. Eden Harsh has been to home weeks or longer before the crime. He said in an interview he took over some wine. Yeah, bro, that was outside. That was not in the home. That was outside. But yes. So Papa Roger in there said who was so obsessed with the case they made a YouTube channel with the name Papa Roger because they are so obsessed with the case. And now he's making shit up that says it was a whole different car, a Kia Forte. That was some strange. YouTube booted off the channel. Yeah, I saw. I agree. Hey, you know what I think? That the girls left the house for several hours and they did not shut the front door. Why do you think that, Munster? Why do you think that? Why do you think they left the home for several hours? Just curious. That's all I want is what makes people just come up with these things out of the blue. I think they went out to Taco Bell for a little while, JB. That's what I think. I think they went and had a chilito. Why do you think they went and had a chilito? God, we haven't had chilitos in 20 years. I miss the chilito, chili cheeseburger, chili cheese burrito, and Mexi Melt. Remember the Mexi Melts? All right. Yeah, I agree. The call is not AI. No, of course it's not. That's why of course it's not.
And then actually I was just thinking about how we know so much about the case now. When you listen to it knowing all of the facts and everything that's come out, but you just sort of put your...
So we still have them in Ohio. The chili cheese God damn it. Chili cheese burrito. The chilito is what we called them back in the day. The Mexi Melt, y'all still have them? Motherfuckers were so good. So good. Corned beef coming. I see you.
Self in their shoes in that moment, just waking up, knowing nothing after a night of partying.
Chilito, motherfucker.
And just the pure horror that must have been like for these young college kids.
And we do have to put our...
JB, Brian was framed. By who? Tell us by who. Chili cheese burrito, sour cream. Oh, man, I can't believe y'all still got the chilito, man. Oh, man. Upgrade. I know you're still in here. You understand next time you go to Ohio, you got to bring me back a chili cheese burrito. You didn't tell me they still got chilitos and shit up in Ohio, bro. Exactly, Upgrade.
Our hats on for being them at that moment, not hindsight. There's so much we know now,
he said
but
done.
they knew nothing at that point. And this...
And I don't don't even care that even if it takes 48 hours for you to get it here, I still got to have it. They brought back the Mexi Melt on the throwback menu. Holy shit.
Really, this next bit, I think, highlights how little they knew, Brian, because at first, you know, a neighbor gets on the phone.
Maybe his students from school frames. Do you people ever speak in facts? JB, maybe his students from school frame Brian Koberger. Yeah, maybe, but maybe my dick's 24 inches long, man. Why would you just randomly say that? It's like 96 and Taco Bell. That's some good shit. Do you understand that, like, it kills actual discussion about it when people are like, well, maybe this happened. What do you mean maybe this happened? What made you think that? Oh, I'm just throwing it against the wall, see if it sticks. No. Curious to see what the state and defense will do now that the call was leaked. I don't think the call does anything to the end. No, I don't think it does anything. I don't know why they held on to the call for so long, to be honest. The call just, if anything, for me, the call made me more sympathetic. Don't worry, kids. Of course the 911 call is real. That's why the entire country's media apparatus is reporting it. Don't get me wrong, fake news can be bullshit sometimes. But there's a reason it's being reported by every news agency as in the country as the 911 call. But what I will say is that what the call did to me is it exonerated the roommates from having any guilt. I could hear it in their voice. I could hear it in these people's voices. They were scared as fuck. I do not believe, and listen, I've always been on the fence when it came to the roommates. I truly believe the roommates were just dumb, drunk little bitches, excuse my language, that made mistakes, didn't irresponsibly didn't call when they should have, and just completely handled the entire situation poorly. That's what I think. I think that it was incompetence, it was dumb, it was drunk, it was stupid. But I do not think, why did Dylan call her dad at 10 a.m. that morning? Guys, anyone else here call their mom and dad at 10 a.m. in the morning? The roommates could have been saved from so much bashing, yeah. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, you would think the smell would have alerted them. But here's the truth, though. Here's the truth. If you want to know what I think probably happened, I think she eventually ran down there. They were talking, they were drunk, and they fell asleep. If you want to know what I think truly happened, I think Dylan and Bethany ran downstairs, or Dylan ran down to Bethany afterwards. They were sitting there scared and talking and fell asleep. Drunk. And then 8 hours later, they wake up. It was all a dream, they thought. Stumbled upstairs and said, oh shit. It wasn't a dream. There you go, Sarge. I don't know what a Reggie is, but good job with the beer. I don't understand why they held it for so long. Me either. But to me, Gigi, that's my honest thought, my honest opinion about what happened. I think that there's so many things we can look into now. Yeah, okay. Okay. Do your drugs, bro. That's on you. I don't understand why druggies tell people, hey, I'm doing drugs. Doesn't that seem like if you're going to commit crimes and shit, you should do that. You should, hey guys, I'm committing crimes. It just doesn't sound like a logical thing to do. But hey, that's on me. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Gigi, yeah, I think personally, I think there's a lot of questions that can come from the call. But I personally believe that some states is the same. No, you live in the United States of America. No, you live in America, which makes it a federal crime. You understand what I'm saying? If you live in America, it's illegal everywhere because it's a federal crime. At any point in time, the Department of Justice can come get you. I don't give a fuck if you're in Cali, Colorado, does not matter. It's a federal crime. But anyway, I think more text messages. I like states' rights too. I do too. But I'm just saying it's a federal crime. Illegal to transport across. It's illegal to have federally. If the feds wanted to not respect state law, it don't matter. Just whatever. Nobody said they were coming. Okay, now we're going to argue with the dope fiends about whether they're fucking... Nobody said they were coming. Nobody said they were coming. But however, if they wanted to, they could. Either way. Whatever, man. You want to confess to crimes on the fucking internet, go ahead. Let's get back to what we were talking about, though. I get it. Whatever. My point still remains the same. My point still remains the same. Here comes the... Yeah, my point still remains the same. I don't understand why we... why druggies always have to tell people they're doing drugs. Hey, I'm a druggie. Good. I don't need to know you're a druggie. You know. Anyway, back to what I was saying. What's up, Mandy? Now you got me thrown off. We'll just get back to the video.
And says one roommate is drunk and passed out. Let me read the transcript. The dispatcher says, tell me what's exactly going on. Female neighbor says, one of the roommates who's passed out and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up. Oh,
look, man, watching midget porn and jacking off relaxes me. Doesn't mean I'm gonna tell you motherfuckers every time I'm watching midget porn and jacking off.
When they saw some man in their house last night, it's very, she's very matter of fact, and she definitely doesn't sound terrified. They have not seen anything. Like, with that kind of a tone of voice, even though Dylan is seemingly very upset at the beginning, that's not somebody who knows there's a bloodbath upstairs.
Yeah.
Right, and remember, based on
exactly, it's this motherfucking 10 o'clock in the morning and shit.
Witnesses who we
Gigi's like, are you motherfuckers going to work high? Are you leaving the drive high? Oh, shit.
Spoke to after this happened, all of these kids were out in the front driveway and out towards the road. It seems like when they were on the phone for part of the 911 call. I think that's why the neighbor at one point from the house to the right took the phone. But you made an interesting point when she saw a man in the house around 4 a.m. It's almost like she's less concerned about that at that moment, which kind of goes back to the text messages and all the questions about, well, why didn't they call 911 then? I mean, perhaps they really did just think this was some kind of prank, the party house. And when she says saw a man in the house around 4 a.m., she doesn't sound that concerned about it. She seemed more worried that someone's passed out and not responding, not as worried like, hey, there was an intruder in the middle of the night.
Or maybe that intruder, by the way, if we have non-responsive housemates, maybe that intruder brought something last night, gave it to them, and that's
why do you think 2 a.m. was dark hour? Those are making shit. I thought the neighbor said that there was someone there, not Dylan.
Why they're not responding. Maybe they've OD'd. It really feels to me like that's the level of their fear and concern, not there was a homicidal maniac in the home last night. Because, I mean, that would be very...
I don't watch midget porn, man. I don't watch midget porn.
very upsetting if you're a housemate whose other housemate is unable to answer her door and is out cold. Okay, the other
I don't even
issue,
know if there
and this is
is
the first time
midget
I've seen
porn.
this, I had to listen to it a lot of times. At one point, it sounds like they are repeatedly calling at the door, at Xana's door. Xana, Ethan, knock, knock, knock. It really does sound like they're trying to rouse her, but that they can't get past that door. That door is closed.
It does, yeah. What? So the door's closed? Okay, what? Okay, I'm not.
Yeah, and it's unclear. You're trying to sort of visualize where everybody is in the house and what's actually happening during the.
Ethan's mom said 2 a.m. will always be dark hour. What does that mean? Why would anyone go into the house where there are like 5 vehicles parked in the yard? 3 or 4 guys per house. Yeah, I agree. JB asked if you were watching the Mud Shark Bridget. Not right now. Ray, pretty sure it's just protocol. Listen, I'm willing to bet stranger men in mask and all black weren't the norm in the house, so why wasn't that alarming? I agree. No. No, here's what's funny about that shit, K-Dubs. I already knew that, by the way. I just like watching people squirm. But you are 100% right. When motherfuckers talking about they got some reggae, they talking about however you pronounce it where you're out. That's some basic shit. That's some basic shit. And then later on, he's like, man, I grow legally and shit. Man, what kind of bullshit you grow? But I tend to not discuss drugs. 2 a.m., the witching hour. But yeah, no, it's yeah, it's definitely like it's 2025. It's 2025, and if that shit's legal where you're at, you're supposed to have the
call, and we don't really know. But you're right. They do call out for Xana and Ethan. They appear to be looking for them. And again, you can kind of hear they're panicked in the beginning, but it seems to become more panicked as the call goes on. And there's that one point where it's just like that heavy breathing. It's almost like a panic attack at that point. That's kind of what I thought of.
Okay, there's one point where a male gets on the phone, and we think that's now a fraternity brother of Ethan's named Hunter Johnson.
Okay.
And that male on the phone sounds like he may know something is up. And I'll say that because it sounds like it might be his voice saying, Xana, Ethan, and can't get past that door, but it's possible he may have gone to the 3rd floor because there's a long break in between the Xana, Ethan, no response, then a panicked response from Dylan, and a get out, get out, get out.
Is that what happened? Did he go up to the 3rd floor, see that bullshit, run back down? Is that when there was the heavy breathing? I'm wondering if Xana's door really was closed. Because that does make sense. But I think that is what happened. I think he was the one that saw some. Yeah, no, he definitely was the one that was like, get out, get out, get out. Do you think someone can fall asleep in fear? Yeah, absolutely. Especially if drunk. Wouldn't they go to Kaylee's first and the dog barked if they did? Yeah, I think they would have been there. So I guess what I'm saying is, like if Hunter was down there and they couldn't get that door open or whatever, and he quickly ran upstairs to the 3rd floor to, and then saw that shit, and then ran downstairs, and is that when we heard the pant and he was like, get out, get out, get out? Her door was first. Whose door was first? I know the layout of the house. What I'm saying is clearly when they called 911, they were at Xana's room. Her door was first. No, Kaylee's, upstairs. Yes, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, if they, like, that little moment where he comes back down and he's breathing hard, or there was that gap and then he was breathing hard. JB, why no barks on the 911 call? No. Why was there no sirens? I just don't know. I don't know the answer to those questions because I don't pay attention to that little bullshit. All of you guys are the ones that's like, oh my God, the call was AI. Dave Bautista made the call in the tunnel with an AI machine, sent it to the cop. And I get it. I think he saw Ethan and there was no way he was just unconscious. That could have been. That could have been. But if you remember the 911 call, there was that heavy panting. And then he was, get out. You remember that shit? Like I don't know, man. So listen to her. Goncalves doesn't normally come up with good ideas.
Get out. Let me read.
And then, so a lot of people are saying they think that they heard poor Kaylee.
The transcript. So the male says, Xana, Ethan, and 6 seconds pass. Dylan says, she's passed out. What's wrong?
Oh.
Knock, knock, knock. She's not waking up. Male says, Xana.
Thanks for watching. Go to join.
That's interesting, man. You know, what I'm going to be really interested to see is like, what's up, not your house, bitch. I'm going to be really interested to see when this actually does go to trial. Exactly, Tracy. I'm going to be really interested. I'm really interested to hear Dylan or Bethany or Hunter or any of them on the stand tell us what happened at this exact moment. I think it could go whatever way you want. Hard to whisper that where's Kaylee, but maybe again. Yeah, it could have been anything like that, right? I agree completely. 65, 69. 65. There we go. Yeah, it could have been anything, really, if you think about it. All right, so Steve Goncalves talked about the 911 call. Let's go ahead and see what this motherfucker had to say.
I am joined now by Steve Goncalves. He lost his daughter, Kaylee, that tragic morning.
And by the way, just so I can reiterate my position on Steve Goncalves, I don't understand the overwhelming hate for him. I do think that I think that the money collecting is a little off-brand. But I actually think Steve Goncalves, his entire roughness throughout the beginning of this case, I think there's a lot of us fathers that would be even worse. Wondering what was discussed before the 911 call? Just meaning, how did the neighbors get there? Did someone run to the neighbors? That's a good question. Did they call? That is a great question. That's actually, yeah. Why does it seem that everyone else was called before the cops? I think we can agree that. But I do think Occam's razor just is like, oh shit, we got to figure out what's going on here. I do think that it makes sense, but also at the same time, why would you start calling everybody like, well, you didn't go check on like Kaylee and Maddie, like before you called everybody else? So there's a lot of shit that doesn't make sense. Why hand the neighbor the phone? That's the easiest part. Everybody's panicked and shit. And women, man, hyperventilate sometimes when they're panicked. The answer to your question, Matt, is because women typically look at men as the leaders. I get it. We live in this liberal feminist society where nobody seems to think so. But women typically look at men as the one to handle this type of shit. So the women's all panicked and shit. Here you got Hunter standing there. It makes perfect sense for a woman to be like, here, handle this. Because she's sitting there panicked and shit. A man is typically a sign of strength. What are you talking about? The neighbor was a lady, bro. You're telling me one of those voices was a lady? I mean, was a neighbor lady? What makes you think that? What makes you think that wasn't Dylan and Bethany? What triggered him to final call? Yeah. I think this is the way he is grieving. I just wish Steve and his wife needs to let the justice system work. I agree with that. Yeah, like that's a good point about the whole thing. Like, how I'm gonna be honest with you. I guess my question would like, I don't know who was on the phone call at what point. The second girl on the call was the neighbor. How you know? She said she lives in the White House next door. Okay, that's valid. If that's on the call, you say that was on the call. Okay, well then I stand corrected. I don't remember that shit. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I don't remember that on there at all.
Steve, I know that mercifully that the authorities gave you that.
Because I don't know any of the callers. I assume the dude was Hunter. It's my understanding Ethan's tendons in the back of his leg have been severed. Why is that your understanding? Did you get to read the autopsy report? Oh no, be graphic is all you want. Did you get to read the autopsy report or something? A female neighbor was on the phone. So you're saying all the people on the phone were neighbors? Was Hunter on the phone at all? Was Dylan ever on the phone? Was Bethany ever on the phone? Like, I'm confused. Because I don't know who was on the phone, to be honest. That's wild. But yeah, Elizabeth, I'm curious about the Ethan tendon thing. So love to see I'd love to see what documents talked about that. Yeah, no names were stated. Yeah, so I don't really know. No, just one female neighbor, first person they handed the phone to. Okay.
Tape before the rest of us.
Yeah, that seems kind of weird, right? To hand the phone to the neighbor who, No DM, female neighbor, Emily Aaron. Okay. No, DM, female neighbor, Emily and Hunter. Okay.
Had some time.
All right.
But beyond that, I don't know how, after 2.5 years of gag order, this landed with...
I don't know where any of that information came from. I've been covering this case for the entire time. I have no clue where any of that information came from. The White House is the 1122 King Road house. The other neighboring houses are blue to blue gray. Hunter and his girlfriend Emily are there for the call. They lived at the beige. Okay. Emily is Hunter's girlfriend. Okay. JB, I think some female YouTubers said that in the beginning that she had a Fed I don't. Yeah. The Hunter Emily thing sounds doable because clearly Hunter was there. Based on what Steve Goncalves has said and other things. Clearly Hunter was there, so it makes sense that his girlfriend Emily was there. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. That those two people were there.
You, I don't know if this was more painful, more elucidating, a bitter pill. Tell me how you're coping with this at this point.
I'm a father, so it's not, my emotions are really my children and my wife. So I would say they feel like they're slowly drowning, and I'm the guy that's trying to help them stay from drowning. And these slow leaks, this torturous process that we're going through, they've done a better job. They've responded to our feedback. We have said, hey, the 911 call is not something that we want to turn on TV and actually see. So they have responded. They have done a better job of, this is a community that doesn't know what murder is. They don't have any clue how to handle, public relations. It just doesn't really exist. So we're getting through it together. And
he does make a great point. It was on Linda Lane. What was on Linda Lane? Did you just tell me that Ethan's... Did you just tell me that Ethan... Because I believe the last thing you said was that Ethan's tendons were severed. I asked you how you got that, and you were like, it was on Linda Lane. Y'all see what the shit I'm talking about? Anyways, I agree with Goncalves here. Goncalves, oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm going to say this one more fucking time. I don't need subscribers. I don't need views. I don't give a fuck if you people are here or not. But I'm going to tell you motherfuckers, in my chat, if you continue in my comment section, if you continue to promote other YouTubers and their dumbass shit, and their guesses, and their theories, and I will block you. It is that simple. I don't need you here. I don't need subscribers. I'm making plenty of money at my other channel. I don't need none of this shit. This is why I didn't stream here for 6 months, and I'm here now, but I'm telling you motherfuckers now, I don't get into your theory channels. I don't care what theories other people say. I care about facts and facts only. Go play dress up and makeup and all of this shit with them on their channels. It's that goddamn simple. Period. Thank you, Gobbles. Gobbles sent $50. Thank you. Gobbles hit a banger, boy. Look at that 50. Thank you, Gobbles. Thank you, Gobbles. Thank you so much, Gobbles. I love you. Thank you. I'm just being honest. Gobbles, thank you. Very much so. All right. Now back to this. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Never saw the other channel before. I was just letting you know. Well, what the hell are you talking about, Divine? Where the fuck are you coming from? Divine, you don't even have a fucking comment in the chat room. The fuck are you talking about? So I never saw the other channel before. I was letting you know. Wow. Are you retarded? Like nobody was talking to you. You don't even have a chat. You're not even in the motherfucking... Where the fuck did you come from? Where the fuck did you come from? I was talking to a whole other motherfucker. What the fuck? But anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what no other channel said. All right? None. I don't respect any of them. At all. I don't respect any of them. Okay? The only channel I'm even remotely affiliated with and cool with is Harsh Reality. The rest of those people are just people making up videos and shit like that, and I don't knock their hustle. I don't knock their hustle. I just don't want to discuss their dumbass theories. And if you think their theories aren't dumb, then great, go discuss it with them. I just want to talk about facts. Somebody told me on Linda Lane, this and that. Man, I don't give a shit. Don't give a shit what someone told you happened on Linda Lane. But anyways. All right, I'm back. I feel that they left the home as they were scared and they had friends that lived close by. What makes you think that? What makes you think that? All right, let's get back to this.
It's hard to say it's getting better, but they are communicating, and we're trying to protect our children and protect all the families and protect the survivors to make sure that we don't have these trolls that are attacking them for no reason.
You know, did you get any...
You are entitled to your opinions, and your opinion is that that front door was open for hours, according to who? You are 100% entitled to your opinions. But when you're sitting in my chat room, stumbling over your words, nothing makes sense, nothing is coming through, and then you just throw out there some YouTuber and some video you watched as if we're all going to know what you're talking about. I've asked you to clearly explain yourself, and you're not doing it. What does the door being open for? What does that paragraph even mean? Hey, I'm entitled to my thoughts and opinions. That from door was open for hours. What the fuck are you trying to say? But the tunnels, JB, absolutely. Well, I mean, it was cold that night, and with the door open, being next to Bethany's room, I think she would have gotten up to shut it. Or maybe the door wasn't open. Yeah, think about what you're saying. Whatever the fuck you're saying. If the door was open, wouldn't Bethany have gotten open and shut it? Yeah, she would have. So maybe the door wasn't open. Did you ever contemplate that possibility? I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about anyway. But either way, back to fucking Steve Goncalves.
Clarity. Did you learn anything or any epiphanies when you listened to the call?
Yes. I mean, I always wanted it to make more sense. Like any murder, your brain wants to gravitate towards how make this make sense. But the truth is, murder never makes sense.
Cake sugar is
this
a
is a psychopathic person who does something that breaks the norm of all of our consciousness.
JB, I answer your question. Read in your spare time. I've been reading every comment that comes across here. You know what?
Minds are just struggling with the fact that this has happened. So
let's get through
this.
We
can logically try to make it make sense, but it's not really going to make sense. It's not where they try to make it all fit together. In real life, you're just sitting there dumbfounded, like, why can somebody be killed in their bedroom? How does that make sense?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's all fucked up.
You mentioned in a statement today that you think Hunter Johnson protected those girls. I mean, listen, I don't know what happened, but I'm trying to piece this together like a puzzle, and it sure feels like he knew something and he protected Bethany from knowing.
Yes, Melissa, we get your point. Yes. I spent the entire first hour going over points exactly like that, including that point. Yeah, absolutely. Touch DNA is not reliable. Maybe his tendons were cut in the Fight Club in the tunnels by Pennywise or Barney the Fight. Yep, that's exactly what happened. You didn't know? In a one-on-one match with Batista. Kathy sent $1, said these snack cake eaters need to focus more. Yeah. These people, clearly.
Do you think that he went up to the third floor and may have seen what happened to Kaylee and Maddie, and therefore said, get out, get out, get out, but did not tell Bethany and did not tell Dylan?
I talked to Hunter directly, and it sucks. He had a broken soul. Like, this is a man who's seen his best friend dead, like dying, like gone. So we exchanged a moment, and I talked to him, and he was trying to protect everyone in that house to not.
Kathy says these snack cake eaters need to focus more on sucking dick and making eggs and waffles. That's true.
Go through what was overwhelming him at the moment. So
thank you,
I don't know about the details of upstairs, downstairs, door open, door not. But in the bigger picture, does it really matter? He was literally just responding to what he probably thought was a prank, thinking his friend, his best buddy, had these girls rolling, and he showed up there and he seen the opposite of our prank, and I seen it in his eyes. He was broken. He was very broken from what he had seen.
And that makes sense. Like, to me, listening to the 911 call, it makes a lot of sense. Hearing Hunter, if that's who it was, say, get out, with the breathing, get out, get out, get out. That sounds like a man trying to protect these girls from seeing something horrendous. Most men do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I got a dead animal on my property and kids, or, you know, y'all go inside, man, I'll take care of it. You see what I'm saying? Most men try to keep that kind of imagery away from their women or whatever. Is that a valid statement? I think so. I think so. So hearing Hunter, if that's who that was, say this, the panting, get out, get out, get out, it seems very, very likely he had saw something right then. The girls hadn't seen it, and he tried to maintain them not seeing it. Does that make sense? Like, it sounds normal. That's normal guy shit. Like, real guy shit, not fag shit. Actual men.
Well, did Hunter tell you that he was able to open the door to Xana's room and witness Xana and Ethan in there?
He told me that he was having...
natural
he went to the door... And he was trying to go through that door, and he was trying to figure out what was going on.
Lucas said, don't be too hard on them. They had a busy weekend spray painting Teslas. Ain't that a bitch?
Going on in there.
Ain't
it's
that
kind
a
of like
bitch?
what you're hearing with that audio. He announced himself. He said, hey, I'm here. What's going on? But they didn't respond. And he went in there, he seen something, and I think around 2:15 you hear when somebody truly sees something.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck? You dumb cunt, why'd you cut it off?
Here with that audio.
I'd like to think even a woman, as a woman, I do that to not let others see. Yeah, I think so.
He announced himself, he said, hey, I'm here, what's going on? But they didn't respond, and he went in there, he seen something, and I think around 2:15 you hear when somebody truly sees something.
Thanks for watching.
What do you mean around 2:15? What the fuck are we, hold on, what is going on here?
Well, did Hunter tell you that he was able to open the door to Xana's room and witness Xana and Ethan in there?
He told me that he went to the door, and he was trying to go through that door, and he was trying to figure out what was going on in there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what you're hearing with that audio.
That makes sense.
He announced himself. He said, hey, I'm here. What's going on?
Yeah,
but
that
they
makes
didn't
sense.
respond, and he went in there. He seen something, and I think around 2:15 you hear when somebody truly sees something.
Thanks for watching.
I agree with that. Hold on, I agree with that, actually. That's basically what I've been saying since I heard the call. I believe that wholeheartedly. Let me get to the note. Let's do it this way.
11.
Let's go to 2:15.
42 seconds, November 13, 2022.
There's that breathing.
Okay. One moment. I'm getting help started that way. Okay, thank you.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, he saw some shit. That's not a they were passed out. If a dude sounds like that man has seen some shit. Yeah, that man's seen some shit. Yeah, that man's seen some shit. Yeah. Man, to all the people saying that calls AI, that calls fake, man, y'all can suck my dick. That's some real shit right there. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's like that. You have to be unhuman to listen to that and not feel some type of way. Like, how can you listen to that and not feel? It's the sound of true shot. Yeah. How do you, with that reaction, there must be a bloodbath? Why no blood? Yeah, of course. I believe, because this isn't about, yeah, that's a whole different scenario. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Let's hear it again. 9:15 on 911. Yeah, you want us to hear it again? We can do that. We'll just go to 2 minutes and play.
What's wrong? She's not waking up. Okay. One moment. I'm getting help started that way. Okay, thank you. Okay, and how old is she? She's 20. 20, you said? Yes, 20. Here's one. Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay.
Is that Hunter? Who is that?
You talk to them, say. I can't talk to them. I need you to talk to them.
Hello. Okay. I've already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. Say that again?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a police here right now. Okay. If there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's her.
I think so. Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, you have one. Are you talking to the officer? Yes. Okay, I'm going to let you go since he's there with you and can help you. Okay, thank you. Bye. Okay.
11:59 a.m. 49.
Yeah. Look. Yeah, I don't see how anybody can listen to that and not hear the emotion. To all the people that's saying it's staged and AI, you guys need some help, man. You really do. Like, it's clear. With every news agency reporting it, it's clear this is a real thing. I don't know. I found my father deceased and grandmother was there. My natural instinct was to get her out of the house. Exactly, Mountain Man. Exactly. Of course, there's questions that come up from this, but I think for the most part, in my opinion, it exonerates the roommates from any wrongdoing. I genuinely do think that. I genuinely do think that. The shock that seems to be in all of them, I don't think you can fake that, man. And why do we jump straight to that and say? And another thing is, what this 2 p.m. dark hour? Stop. Why? Just stop making things up, please. Xana was on her fucking phone, TikTok at 4:13. Okay. They weren't. There wasn't a dark hour. They weren't killed earlier in the night. There was a DoorDash delivery, and Xana was on TikTok after 4 a.m. Do you see what I'm saying? What about later on, Tracy? Yeah, I got to get back. My next stream is already going to be a little bit late. The dog didn't stab anyone. Yeah. The dog didn't stab anyone. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to start, like, we got to get our shit together, right? We got to use Occam's razor with a lot of this shit. So, anyways, guys, I do want to say thank you to everybody that hit tip jar. Thank you to everybody that didn't. The witching hour is 3 a.m. people. Yeah. Those kids won't get justice if Brian is convicted. Yeah, I don't know. Because I also am fair enough to say, what if he did do it? They haven't proven it to me, but, you know. I try to look at this whole thing from a very, you know, logical perspective. I don't believe there's enough evidence to convict him. Hopefully they got more, I guess. I don't believe they do, though. I've listened to 3 years of people just making up shit, though. It happened at 2 o'clock, and it was the boys from Banfield. Was it? Then how was she on TikTok at 4:13 and eating burgers and shit at 4? If he did do this, he needs to be studied because he was a ninja. I agree. Well, not too damn ninja. I agree with you. If he did do it, leaving the... Oh, look at that. What's up, Alicia? How you doing? Amber said if the state can prove he did it, yeah, I can accept whatever. I'm not emotionally attached to any of this shit. You know, no matter what happens. Even mom said that about 2 a.m. She was writing her book and go, yeah. Can I see your text? Yeah, I can see it. I see you. Can you? Yeah, it's right there on my board. Hope you're doing good, Alicia. All right, guys. Thank you to everybody hit the tip jar. Thank you to everybody didn't. This case and the info facts from the police stated that they arrived, the doors to the bedrooms were open, and also the Xena was in the hallway. Oh, Jesus. Alicia says he's innocent. I hope so. Yeah. See you on the next live stream. Yeah, I'm going to start giving you guys these every morning if I can. Coffee and crime. They're usually going to be about an hour, but I struggle with keeping my shit at a specific time. I struggle with it because I'm too talkative, and y'all are too cool to talk to. Well, some of you. And Malaysia brings her fine ass in here at the last minute. Anyway, love you guys. They're never going to let them out. I don't think so either. I think they will. And here comes the beautiful Katie. I do think they will convict him. I don't think they should. I don't think there's enough evidence. So will you be back in an hour, JB? Yeah, I'm going to my gun show channel. I'll be over at the gun show channel. Thank you, Lori. Yeah, I'm going to start there probably about 11:30. I'm already late. This stream was supposed to be over at 10. Alicia says, me either. He said all the honeys coming in, man. Yeah, they all are. They all are. I got to get to the politics channel, though. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. And I will see you tomorrow. I like doing these live streams here. I like doing the coffee and crimes here. I'm going to start doing them for you every day. Well, at least 5 days a week. I never heard Xana was not in a room. I believe all 4 were in 2 different rooms. Yeah. 2 in the downstairs bedroom, 2 in the upstairs bedroom. Absolutely. All right, guys. Love y'all. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I will see you guys tomorrow. And for the rest of you that's watching on the gaming channel, the wrestling channel, the news channel, I will see you over there. I'll be at work tomorrow. Oh, sorry. I'll still be here, so you can watch it when you get done. Thank you, Tracy. I don't know if BK is innocent, but I don't think he is guilty either. You could say murder. Murder is okay. Murder is okay. You can type murder. You can type murder right in the chat room. In fact, everybody, just type in murder right now. Let's just get it out of our systems. Everybody type in murder right now. You can type in murder. You can type in rape too. You can type in all kinds of cool shit. You don't have to use those unaliving words. You don't have to use those unaliving words. Not over here. We're straight over here. We're not gay, anything like that. We don't. Yes. You can just type them in. Type in donkey rape. You can type in murder. You don't have to say SA. You don't have to say rape. You don't have to say homosexual. You can say faggot. We can do all of that around here. That's not a problem. It's not a problem. Guys, I will see you tomorrow. As sex murderer, absolutely. It's not a problem. You're, yes. Anyways, racial, yeah, you can do it all. You can say whatever the fuck. Spit, you can say whatever the fuck you want to say. JB is wicked awesome. I love you guys. I love y'all. I'm going to get up out of here. Gutter cleaner. Yes, do it all. All right.